Yeah, Mike, I mean, so much is made of the individual talent that Duke has, but you got some huge individual play from Aluma in the second half, Radford in the first half. How big do you think the talent gap really is between these programs?
Oh gosh, Mike, I haven't really thought about it. I don't know quite know how to respond. Man, I just such a big fan of Goldwire. He's been there a long time. Roach is really good. Stewart, Matthew Hurt may be the best player in our league to this point in the season. Um, but you're right. I'll take nothing away from my guys. I've got good players also that we've played a lot of basketball around here now. When you consider the minutes that Cone, Aline, Couture, those guys played a year ago. Aluma's in his third year as a fourth year as a college player. Tyrese Radford. I like my team and the things that each individual brings to the unit, and awfully proud of them and how they played tonight.
Along those lines, it showed a lot of maturity, it seemed like,
Yeah.
That second half. What did you see in that front?
I thought I saw a level of poise. I didn't want to call timeout there when Duke took off on us in the second half. And part of that was by design. I wanted to see us figure it out and fight through it. I didn't want to burn a timeout there. I thought our shot selection was good. I thought that Duke made some difficult shots. We didn't have our best start, but I knew we would figure it out. I was pleased with their patience, their poise, and togetherness. They continued to share. And I do think that is the mark of a team that's been there and done it and knows what it takes to get out of games like that with a win.
Norm Wood.
Hey, Mike. As Barbara alluded to, Aluma was huge in the second half. You guys had, I guess, Hurt had hit a jumper to reduce the lead to 54-52 with about 13:49 left, and then Keve had like 11 points in less than 8 minutes after that. Just how immense was he during that stretch to kind of help you put it away? I mean, he scored in transition, scoring under the basket, just looked really tough.
Well, I mean, Norm, I just thought we all do. I covet, a player that you can throw the ball to in the post and expect something positive to happen. You're going to double it. You're going to stick it back on the perimeter. He's going to get fouled. I thought he got fouled a couple of times there in the second half, and it wasn't called. But I mean, just enormous. You start to tighten up a little bit, and Duke, locks in a bit more defensively and on the perimeter with Cone and others to be able to put that thing down there to that big rascal and let him, do his thing is a real luxury. And I've had some great ones. I've had some great ones that we could do that with. And Keve Aluma certainly presenting himself very, very well through 11 or 12 games, whatever we've played. He's a whale of a ball player.
Just as a side note, have you ever had a guy who moves his feet defensively quite as well as Hunter Couture is this season so far? I mean, he's an unofficial statistician, David Cunningham, there has him for like 13 charges drawn this season.
We track that. We track that. That's a big statistic for us. We've got a board. We take a picture of it, a still shot, after each game. I think Couture is at 9 now. We've got somebody at 6. Aline has 0, and I point that out to him after each game. Cone has 0. I point that out. His teammates point that out. That's a big part of what we do. Couture, that was not a strong suit of his a year ago. He had a hard time keeping the ball in front of him, but an off season, different off season with the virus not being here, March to July. He worked his fanny off, and when he got back here with David Jackson, I've said it, multiple times now, Norm. He is a very conscientious and a very serious basketball player. You don't have to tell him, hey, listen, buddy, you can't guard anybody. He understands that. He recognizes that, and he has worked very, very hard, worked diligently to improve that part of it. He is a good athlete, and he's made vast improvements in that area.
Thanks.
Mark Berman.
Where the hell is Berman?
Congratulations, Mr. Young. You are now 3-0 against ranked teams this year in the AP Top 25 poll. What does that say about this team you've got this year?
I've got a pretty good team, Mark. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. We've got a pretty good team. I think we got a chance to be really good. We're not really good right now. So I don't think it's anything more complicated than that. As Mike Barber asked, I look down this roster. Aluma, Mutz, Beatty is playing good basketball for us. It's like Aline, Cone, or Couture. Somebody is going to have a 17, 18, 19 point game and really make it hard for you. There are going to be several nights when two of them ring the bell like that. So that would be my response.
You shot 63% from the field in the first half. What helped you guys click so well on offense in that first half?
I thought the ball really moved, Mark. It didn't stick. We had a nice level of inside, outside. Cone got 2 big threes down. We got a couple of second shots, and I thought we moved really, really well in transition. Shot selection was good, and Duke basketball's hung their hat on that defensive end for quite some time, and that was certainly a pleasure to watch.
Thank you.
Gene Wayne.
Hey, Mike, you mentioned poise earlier. Duke cuts it to 1 in the second half, and then to 4 with about 2.5 to go, and you hold them off both times. What goes into that? What's about this? What is about this group that allows you to kind of be that resilient?
Gene, again, I just think guys that have been there, guys that aren't wide-eyed and lose it. Just there's a tempo. There's a lot to consider. The press and into the front court. What are we looking for once we get to the front court? We don't want a quick possession. We want a longer possession. That's where Aluma's presence in the post offensively is a real luxury for us. Tyrese Radford driving the ball and getting fouled. Jalen Cone running off multiple screens and banging a shot. It's a difficult team to scout because we can get you in a variety of ways, and I think that's the makings of a pretty good club.
And kind of following up on that, you mentioned Aluma earlier. What can you say about that play he made with about 1:20 to go? He had a block, kept the ball in bounds, and it led to a jumper by Radford to kind of almost put the game away. When
Norm went down the path of feet, and he's right, Hunter is doing. Keve Aluma, fellas, he's an elite defender. Now, Hurt touched him up in the first half, and I'll be interested to go back and see that on film. But that guy has special timing. He's long. He's got a nose for the ball. He's tough. I mean, he is really a tough man. And that was just what an athletic play, Gene. Holy cow! Just flying through the air. He grabs the ball. And certainly timely. We still had work to do at that point. That was a big play for the Hokies.
Thank you.
Aaron McFarland.
Hey, Mike, congratulations.
Thanks, Aaron.
There was a play in the first half where Mutz passed out of a double team to Radford for an easy layup. And that was not the only time. Your post players seemed to really have a good chemistry on where each other is. I mean, how have you seen that develop? I mean, a couple of these, I mean, Butts wasn't here last year. I mean,
Yeah.
what a lot of time to develop that kind of chemistry. How did that happen?
Not all of that is scripted, Aaron. That's relying on good players to make the right plays. We thought we could get somebody. I'm fortunate that it was Cone, which is a bit out of the ordinary. I forget who passed it, but we wanted to get to the ball side corners. They're so loaded up and they're so cognizant of the ball, and Aluma, driving it. We wanted to get Cone on the ball side corner, and Aluma flips it out there for a made three right in front of Duke's bench. It's good players. It's good players with a level of awareness, and getting to different spots. The spacing is everything in that instance. Hard to space it with four. We typically take our backside big and get him to the block, but they do. Much are really good passers. So is Aluma, and they're willing passers.
Last question, Eric Johnson.
Hey, Coach, you talked about the flow and the rhythm you guys had on offense there. How much did the defensive intensity kind of contribute to that? You guys had 13 points on turnovers, and I believe they all came from the first half there.
Yeah, I was less than pleased with our defense. I thought 34 points in the first half for Duke was excessive. Didn't like that. I thought we misplayed some things, and none of which had anything to do with effort. They shot 46% on us in the first half. We limit them to 35% in the second half. Just had a better pop to us and better connected. I have a good defensive team. We were not very good defensively against Louisville. We were not very good defensively in the first half against Notre Dame. We were superb in the second half against Notre Dame, and I would say, I'll go back and look at it tonight, I would say probably a B-. But we got guys who can guard you, and they're really smart players, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid to sit in the stance and guard you. Anybody else?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Norm.
You see a guy you're familiar with this coming weekend in Steve Forbes. What's sort of indicative of a Steve Forbes coach team? What hallmarks?
Man, we had some bloodbaths now. He's a friend. I think the world of him. He's a heck of a coach. He's a heck of a coach. Norm, I cannot imagine. I never want to do it again. I can assure you this. I never want to. I never want to get another one up and running. I'm not doing that. And Stephen taking over Wake Forest with so many balls in the air and you're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. Oh my gosh, that's awful. But the team's competing. He hung in there with Virginia the other night. I haven't seen them very much. They haven't played very much. They do play tomorrow against Louisville at home, so we need that. We need that film. He is not playing the way he's comfortable playing right now. He's playing the way he has to play out of necessity. But I'm telling you right now, fellas, that guy can really coach, and his teams play the right way. They play really, really hard, and he'll have that thing up and running in no time, and doing it the right way with good kids, and they fight. They just fight, and I'm a fan of Stephen.